My wife emptied our bank accounts and ran off with her personal trainer, leaving me with a mountain of debt, but I tracked her down and took her to court. I never thought I'd be the kind of guy telling a story like this. I was just an average man with an average life. I had a wife, a home, and what I thought was a stable marriage. But one day I came home from work and everything changed. This is the story of how my wife betrayed me, left me drowning in debt, and how I fought back, tracking her down and dragging her to court to make her pay. It was a Thursday. I remember it clearly because I had stopped to grab takeout on the way home. When I got inside, the house felt empty. More than just physically. There was an eerie silence, like something was missing. And then I saw it. Her closet was empty. Drawers were flung open. Jewelry gone. The safe where we kept important documents? Empty. I ran to my laptop to check our bank accounts, and that's when the real panic set in. Zero. Every single account drained. I refreshed the page a dozen times, praying it was some kind of mistake. But no, the money was gone. Every paycheck I had worked for, every penny we had saved, vanished. I felt sick. Frantically, I called my wife. No answer. I texted. No reply. My hands were shaking as I started calling mutual friends. Most of them had no idea what was happening. But then one of her friends, Lisa, let something slip. She's been spending a lot of time with that trainer guy. I thought you knew? Trainer guy? My stomach dropped. For the past year, my wife had been obsessed with fitness. She had hired a personal trainer, some chiseled, tattooed guy named Brandon. I never liked him, but I trusted my wife. Turns out that was my first mistake. The next few days were a blur of stress and confusion. I found out she hadn't just taken our savings, she had maxed out our credit cards, taken out a personal loan in both of our names, and even refinanced our house without telling me. I was now in over $100,000 of debt. I called the police, but they said since we were married, it wasn't a crime for her to take the money. It's a civil matter, they told me. I felt like my life was collapsing around me. I wasn't going to just let her get away with it. I hired a private investigator, and within a couple of weeks, he found her. She had run off to Miami with Brandon, living it up in a beachfront condo, paid for with my hard-earned money. I saw pictures. My wife sipping cocktails by the pool. My wife laughing in expensive boutiques. My wife kissing Brandon like she didn't just destroy my life. Something inside me snapped. I wasn't just going to sit back and let them enjoy the good life while I was stuck in a financial nightmare. I lawyered up. I filed for divorce and sued her for financial fraud, marital waste, and emotional damages. The case was complicated, but I had a solid argument. She had taken our shared assets without my consent, used my credit to fund her new lifestyle, and left me with nothing. At first, she tried to ignore the legal proceedings. But when she was served in Miami, she couldn't run anymore. In court, she tried to play the victim. She claimed she had been unhappy for years, that I was controlling, that she deserved the money. Her lawyer even tried to argue that since we were married, she had a right to all the assets. But then my lawyer presented the evidence. Bank statements. Proof of fraud. Photos of her and Brandon spending my money. Emails where she literally planned to leave and take everything. The judge wasn't impressed with her excuses. In the end, she was ordered to pay me back half of what she stole. She also got slapped with the entire marital debt, meaning I was no longer responsible for the loans and credit card balances. She left the courtroom pale and shaking. Turns out, Brandon wasn't as devoted as she thought. When he realized she was now drowning in debt, he bailed on her. Now she was alone, broke, and facing financial ruin. Meanwhile, I picked up the pieces of my life. It took time, but I recovered. My credit was restored, my finances got back on track, and I finally felt free. And as for my ex-wife? Last I heard, she was waitressing in a dive bar, struggling to make ends meet.